So good morning again. Today is May 4th, and my name is Kim Poole. I'm really excited that I was able to meet you all in Detroit in the D. The One Africa Conference really brought together some incredible partnerships. We met some of the most conscious and educated elders and young people. We were so impressed with you, Akilah. When you came to our table, you're already built on such a strong foundation. You're exposed. You were aware of many of the things we were discussing with you. And so I just, before we get started, want to celebrate you, Greg. And, Robin, it's nice to meet you because it just speaks to your parents, your ancestry, your lineage. You made of good stuff, sis. So we're excited that you're interested in the Summer Learning Institute. And I wanted to hold this session with you guys so that I can answer questions about the information that you received. So far, I've sent you a copy of the interest meeting for the Summer Learning Institute interest meeting in January of this year. I also sent you a PDF overview of last year's program. Some of our speakers are returning, and some of the experts have been added to our roster. We also sent you a few commercials of the program for this year, as well as a video diary of last year, what it was like being on the ground from the perspective of some of the participants and some of the experts. And then we sent you an application, as well as the meeting link from some of the experts this year. And some of their overviews as they go through their own journey and process. So I'm here to answer any questions and talk about what you're thinking.
Okay, I know my mom was interested in going.
That's incredible.
I also know my mom isn't, sometimes she cannot be as tech savvy. So I'm gonna go out and call her and see if she's having issues with the Zoom and come back in.
Okay, no problem. She was telling me that Grandma wanted to join. We love being in the company of our elders. So that would be great.
Okay.
So has your grandmother, Akilah, has she ever been to the continent before?
I don't think so.
Wow. And how about you?
Me, no.
And you guys will be making this journey for the first time together. Like, that's powerful for your family. She's your family's matriarch, and you all having that experience together and being able to process it and internalize it and bring that experience back to your family, back to your village. Like, that's pretty deep. Me and my grandmother, we have the same birthday. July 16th. And so I've had many shared experiences with my nana. That's what we call her. Just growing up over the years. And when I was little, I always wanted a separate birthday. I'm like, no, I don't want a birthday with nana. I want my own birthday. But now, as I've become a woman, I appreciate so deeply what it means to share, such an experience with the matriarch of the family. And going back to Africa in many ways is like a rebirth. So you'll also have a birthday with your nana, with your grandma, going back to the continent and being reborn in what our ancestors would have always wanted for us. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like too. Maybe one day the whole family will come. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. So hopefully she'll be able to tune into the Zoom and ask any questions. If not, maybe she can just text them to you, maybe on WhatsApp or just normal text, and we can respond from there. So I guess we can just stand by and see if she has the ability to get her, and then we'll come back. I'm going to push pause. So I'm so glad that you were able to watch the videos, and we're here today to answer any questions. I think it's incredible that you're coming with your grandmother, Miss Deborah. So I'm here, available. I guess, Akilah, we can start with you. Why are you interested in this program? Are you also looking to receive college credits? Even if you don't have a university to transfer them into as we speak, they're still available to you. Is that something that you're interested in? And any questions that you may have after answering my question, why you're interested, I guess we can go from there.
So I'm interested because I've always wanted to go to the continent for a minute, and especially like in recent years, with the climate of the government here, as well as like COVID related things. Also, I wanted to just visit somewhere that has a different format, and connecting, like what better place than somewhere that connects us to our roots directly. So that's why I've wanted to come to Tanzania. And then as far as receiving the college credits,
you may as well, because you don't know when you're going to need them. So if it's available, then
yes,
go ahead and do it. And if you don't need them, you don't need them. But if it's available, then, go ahead and take them.
that is true. Yeah.
From the voice of our elders. Thank you, Mama. So because you have such a strong village, your mama and your baba are on the call today to make sure that you are doing this, that this circle is complete. I just want to hear a little from them. Why are you here today, and why are you vested in Akilah taking this journey?
You want to start, Greg, or you want me to go?
Okay, I can go. I think that this is a in many ways, this child is just a child of the diaspora. In saying that, I mean someone who's very concerned about what's happening to Black people in places outside of the United States, particularly on the continent, has made her own inquiries into deep culture elements, communities, particularly in Nigeria and other places.
Greg, I think you're breaking up just a little bit. It might be the signal,
okay.
But it's a little choppy.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me better?
No.
Did that help you? No.
We can hear you. Yeah, a little. I think it's refocusing.
Okay. My office has a funny signal strength. Anyway, are y'all able to hear me though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess all I was really saying was I think this is her path. Her life has led to this, in my observation, and so I just want to help to support her. In my opinion, our responsibility as parents is to guide children to what's inside of them and help cultivate that. And this clearly is what's inside of her.
I definitely agree. I don't know if he mentioned it, but this is something that she's been wanting to do for a while. And, every year we revisit, like, where do we want to go in Africa and how to get there and all of these things. So when this came up, it's honestly just perfect timing. When she told me about it, I guess that was Saturday night when you all met, Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. And I was on board with it when she told me, but Greg didn't know I was on board with it. So he kind of called me the next day and was like, okay, this is, do the presentation or whatever. But, before, and I was telling him before, when she was younger, I probably would have had more concerns about her going without me or just going by herself. But I feel like this is, like he said, her path. I feel like this is divine intervention because, you know, I don't know if it was you or another young lady that he was supposed to connect with and ended up, you guys were in the same place. And this is, you know, that's divine intervention. And like I said, to know Akilah is to know that she has literally been trying to get to that continent for, I'll give it 3 years at this point. So, I mean, I just think that everything is lining up for her. And like he said, this is her path, this is her journey. And, you know, being her parents, like he said, we're to guide. It's not my life, it's her life. So I'm just here to kind of facilitate in any way that I can for her to reach wherever it is she's trying to go. So.
Well, I think that is beautiful. You guys are an example of what strong Black families are built on. Thank you so much for being her guide and helping her find her divine path and alignment. And we also have on the line Grandma, because parents are made by grandmas and grandpas. Grandma, Akilah said that you're also going to be joining us. Before you ask your questions, is there anything you would like to say about why you're interested in joining us and why you think this will be a positive experience for both you and Akilah?
Well, Akilah, I think, has got me to the point where I want to go to Africa. Although I wanted to take her somewhere, this would be the perfect place to go with her. In the last few days, I've learned more about Africa than I probably did as a, you know, growing up. You know, I never thought about it. I thought about it, but I want to be more interested in, you know, Africa. So this will be the perfect opportunity to learn and also just to be with my granddaughter, you know. I'm not sure.
That's it.
Yeah, I was about, you said it. Listen, the perfect opportunity to be with my granddaughter. That right there for me is the nugget. That was the pearl of wisdom. You know, we sometimes we miss the point in our pursuit of knowledge and our pursuit of wisdom. All we're trying to learn how to do is better connect with our family, better connect generations, better realize our family institutions. And so if Africa is a part of that for global African people, that is why we're connected. And so thank you, Grandma, for wanting to come on this trip with your granddaughter, because you simply want to spend more time with your grannies. I think that's beautiful. So now let's get into the questions. I know you guys, you've seen some of the videos. Akilah, I'm glad you were able to go through the information with your grandmother. Let's start with question number 1. I want to make sure that you have everything answered so that we can accelerate through some of the logistical pieces. You know, getting a passport, expediting that, making sure that we talk with you about vaccinations and the fact that you don't have to get any to go into Tanzania. Isn't that great? Making sure that you understand the visa process and what to pack and what not to pack. You don't need water. They have water in Africa, lots of it, and it's clean. You can drink it. We've had people ask questions about that too. So let's talk about some of your programmatic questions and then some of the logistical questions too. Let's get those answered.
Okay.
So I had, just like my fundamental question is, I'm sure there probably is already out there, a timeline of deadlines or key dates leading up to the travel that, you know, we can just keep ourselves on target with.
Okay, so a basic timeline. So you guys are already behind schedule. The deposit for the application is $500. And with that, we ask that you fill out the application in its entirety and that you complete your first payment coupon, which is for your record and also ours, so that we stay on track with your payment plan. So that was March 30th. So we're a little behind schedule, but don't worry, you're worth every timeline. The timeline is yours, okay? The reason that I said you could still come is because we connected beyond the timeline. In terms of when we depart, we don't leave until July 19th. We fly in and out round trip from Dulles. So Dulles is outside of Washington, D.C. So you would have to find a way to get to Dulles. We fly from Dulles into Dar es Salaam, which is the capital city. We're also, within that timeline, you will return August 5th. So some people will leave early on August 2nd, but you would return on August 5th. So basically 2.5 weeks. We have a little under 3 months to prepare. So I'm confident that we'll get everything done that we need to get done. But what is most important is that you fill out your application, make your initial deposit so that we can start fundraising from your community. I feel like with young people like you, your community should want you to have this experience, and they need the opportunity to invest in you. So we need to position you for the opportunity of investment. Let them invest in your journey. I think we still have time to ask them. And so I think when we think about the timeline, we need to include the community. Are there community functions in your area where you can present yourself to them, let them know what you're doing, and tell them how they can be involved? Are there major festivals? Are there opportunities to connect with the family, the rest of the family, your aunties and your uncles? Your grandmother is the matriarch of the family. She can connect you to that generation that you don't talk to on the regular basis. They may be vested in you going, especially with her. And so that all needs to be created and put into the timeline. Most importantly, I want you to know that you are part of the timeline's creation. It's not something that we give to you and say, hey, this is a hard stop and this is a hard, beginning. We want to know what's on your schedule so that we can incorporate it.
And so to your point about fundraising, African Liberation Day is coming up on May 27th and 28th. So that's going to be a huge opportunity. They also offer a scholarship every year for graduating seniors who are going to college, but there's flexibility in how those monies are used. I'm sure you could write an essay and get a scholarship from the ALD committee. And I love your ideal about reaching out to the family network. I think it would be smart to start to draw a list up, Akilah, of people whose names you just come to your mind as people who you would want to make a presentation to, and we can have many opportunities to set that up. I'll start making a list of people too. I don't have any really doubt that we'll be able to generate the funds for this travel, and more than the 5,000, because my thought process is that she's probably gonna need some money on the ground as well, over and above the cost of the travel and accommodations and meals and everything like that. So my goal is probably to try to raise about 7,500. What do you think about that?
So what I will say is, extra is always good. More is better. But the 5,000 is very all-inclusive. So it includes her round trip flight from our country into Tanzania. It also includes 3 flights within the country, because we take you to various regions of the entire country. In Tanzania, when you look at East Africa, it's huge. We take you to the island of Zanzibar. We take you to Kilimanjaro and you walk up the mountain. We take you down into the south to Tukuyu, where most people never travel, below Dar es Salaam. And so you'll have at least 3 flights within the country, and those are also covered in the cost. We give you 2 meals per day. And these meals are hearty meals, sometimes 3, and those are covered in the cost. We also give you coverage of all the excursions. So the safari, many tours that you find, they don't cover the cost of the safari, but this fee that you'll pay, it also covers the cost of your safari, as well as the 3-credit college course. You can't get a 3-credit college course at a community college in the United States for this amount. That also includes all of your logistical fees. And so, yes, having some pocket change to buy one of the Maasai necklaces made by the woman that you actually met. Yes, having some pocket change to maybe get a talking drum, or, you know, an outfit that says Karabuni, or, you know, Poa. Yeah, maybe something in Swahili, but it's not necessary. So if all you're able to raise is the fund for the trip, you'll be very fine on the ground with just the cost. It's all inclusive.
Nice.
To that point, extra money to travel with, how should that be handled? Should that currency be exchanged into the currency for Tanzania or something else?
So Tanzania is like the New York of East Africa. Dar es Salaam is a huge functional city. They're building a train that goes from one end of Dar es Salaam all the way to Mwanza, like the northern region of the country. Very much an industrial city. However, they're a cash economy. So I'm going to say bring those dollars with you in cash. Don't go into Tanzania looking to use your debit, Visa, or Master Discover. Definitely not your American Express. Bring cash dollars with you for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I ask what's the host name, the lady that's speaking?
I'm sorry, Grandma. Can you say that again, Miss Deborah?
What is your name, please?
She said,
What's
what's
your
your
name? My name is Kim Poole. Yes.
I mean, I'm listening to you, and I wanted to know what your name was in case I ever meet you. I'm sure I will.
Yes. I think somebody is ringing in the background. Do you guys hear that?
No.
No,
It's
I don't hear
birds outside my window. That's really loud.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you hear. My question is,
Yeah,
so you were saying, I'm sorry, Mom.
Go ahead.
Oh, my question was, you were saying that there are no vaccinations needed to get, you know, because they always have the misconception of, oh, anytime you go to Africa, you need all these vaccinations. So you were saying there aren't any needed.
So East Africa is a little different from West Africa.
Okay.
Just to explain to you why you're hearing that. So
Okay.
yellow fever is one of the vaccinations that's needed to go into West Africa. However, for East Africa, that's not the case. Since COVID, you do need a PCR COVID test going in the country once you arrive to the airport, and then before you return to the United States. So we do arrange for you to take your COVID test on the ground with a doctor prior to your departure. It's registered through the National Ministry of Health in Tanzania. Hopefully your doctor can arrange for your PCR test here in the United States before you leave. But if not, there are facilities that offer that service around the airport. So if you're gonna come in town from Detroit, we can take you to a facility to get your same day PCR test prior to your departure. It does have to be within a 24-hour window if you aren't vaccinated. So vaccination is optional going in and out of Tanzania, but testing and making sure that you have a negative PCR COVID test is not optional.
Okay.
Which makes everybody feel safer. You know, we're going to be on shuttle buses together, sharing rooms. So everybody feels a lot safer knowing that your status is negative.
Absolutely.
How many people are in a room?
How many people in the room? 2.
2, okay.
Yes, ma'am. So I would assume that you and Akilah would be roommates.
Yes.
Okay. There is a section on the application. Please make sure that you write that, Akilah is your roommate, because you'd be surprised. Some people were saying, no, I want to stay with somebody else.
person.
We had it done. Yes. So write that on that section in the application, who you would like to room with, and we'll make sure that that is arranged.
Okay.
Yes. Well, there will be one night where Akilah will stay with other young people on campus, but for the remainder of this day, she would room with you as we travel throughout the country.
Now, you said what to pack and what not to pack. Can you give us an idea what that is, please?
I'm sorry. Could you say that again, Miss Deborah?
I'm sorry. You mentioned what to pack and what not to pack. Can you give me an idea of what that would be?
Yes, ma'am, we will. What we generally encourage is that you pack light. Many of the things that you believe you need for an excursion in Tanzania, you can buy on the ground. We usually overpack for any travel.
Right.
But when we start thinking about travel to Africa, we triple pack. And so we do have a 4-part series. We call it the Thai Tour Preparation Series. So even though the program that you're participating in, the Summer Learning Institute, is underneath of our Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange, it is powered by Thai Tours. So we do a 4-part series with Thai Tours practitioners that basically tell you about visas and vaccinations, how to be healthy abroad, what to pack. We give you a template that has a checklist, literally, and you check off what you need, you pack that, and then take half and put it back. We promise you that Tanzania is developed. You can find anything that you forget to pack in your suitcase at any local store. You'll be just fine. But we do talk about some of the essentials. I was walking with one of the young ladies that came with us last year, and her sandal literally began to melt into the ground as we walked to the university. And, we laugh about it now, but I'm just glad she had an extra pair, because those sandals that have been imported from China, they may not hold up on the Tanzanian soil as we walk underneath of that Swahili sun. So I want you to be prepared with proper footwear. Also, as far as you can go up Kilimanjaro, I'll say this, you can walk. It's not a race up the mountain, but it is a hike. So we need you to wear the proper foot gear for walking up a mountain. And again, it's not a race, but it is a hike. And so we prepare you for that journey. And as of, I think, March or May 30th, when we begin our Thai Tour preparation series, we encourage you to walk every day, 30 minutes. Please, please, please walk 30 minutes every day, because it's going to help you to better enjoy the experience. It's nothing like walking and being so tired that you can't even appreciate the sight, the view of looking over the valley, because you're so tired. It's like, girl, I don't care nothing about that mountain. Right now, I'm just trying to catch my breath. But I promise you, if you just do 30 minutes every day in the same footwear that you're going to use walking up the mountain, you will appreciate it. So we're going to prepare you for the journey holistically, including what to pack and what not to pack. And we do that through the Thai Tour preparation series in 4 sessions prior to departure.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Miss Deborah?
Yes, it did. I appreciate it, Kim.
Yes, ma'am.
So
You
mentioned something about visa. How does that work? I know nothing about visas.
Yes, well, during the Thai Tour preparation series, we walk you through it. We know that the average person has never been to the continent. And in the US, we've probably not been out of the country. Most of the people that travel out of the country in the US are part of about 12%. Everybody else stays. In Europe, if you travel for 2 hours, you've left the country. It's a small area. Most people there understand the importance of international travel because they have no choice. But you could drive for a week across the United States and still be in the US. And we have the Atlantic on one side and the Pacific on the other. And so there are oceans between us and other languages. And I mean, yes, you in Detroit over in Michigan, you've got Canada right across the water. So you are a little more exposed, but in some areas of the United States, the idea of going to another country is just a whole new world. It's outside of what they're thinking. And so what we're doing in terms of visas and vaccinations or healthy abroad, what to pack, we're literally companioning you through the process. We hold your hand through every step. We go to the website with you. Lucky for us, in East Africa, visas are online. When you go to places like Ghana, honey, you have to go to the embassy and you can only drop it off on Monday.
That's what I've heard. You have to go to you have to go to the embassy. That's so crazy to me.
Yes, it's crazy. And the line is literally around the compound of the embassy, and they close the door. If you don't get in by a certain time, you won't get in, and you have to pick it up or pay an expedited fee if you need it, within a certain time frame. That is West Africa. Lucky for us, this time we're going to our family in East Africa, in Tanzania, and the visa is virtual. We walk you through the website and you receive it virtually. So all is well. And we'll make sure that you're prepared.
Great.
And then as far as the passport, so I did get my passport papers, but I still have to get the photo taken and then send it in.
So here's the deal. Passport issuing has recovered a little since the pandemic first began. However, it is still delayed. So this is May. We leave in June. I don't want to chance it. I think we should go through the expedited passport process. You go through your congressional office and you request an expedited passport based on your travel. And you go to an issuance agency and you pick up your passport the same day. To me, that is the best option, to pick up your passport the same day so that we guarantee that you have your passport in a timely fashion so that we can then apply for your visa in a timely fashion. If you didn't need a visa, maybe we could chance it, but because you do, and you need your passport information to apply for your visa, I think an expedited passport is the way to go.
Okay,
and then
no, my next question was, so you say you have to go to a congressional office. How where would that be?
So I'm so glad you asked. You should definitely know who your congressperson is. You might have to make them do things for you because they represent you. And sometimes you have to hold them to what they say they'll do by calling them out. And so this is a part of one of the services that your congressional office offers under their constituent services, passport, because they're your representative in DC, where passport agency is.
Right, okay.
They have different outposts. There's one in New York and different places. And so we'll figure out who your congressperson is, and their constituent services, whoever that officer is, will be in touch. So we'll make sure that we help you walk through that process as well. And we want to get started as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah.
No, our congressperson was I hate to say the old man. I can't think of his name. Conyers.
Most of them are old. They're old and irrelevant.
Right.
Most of them.
It was I thought it was John Conyers, and then he passed, so I don't know who filled his spot from there, but I'm just saying that. We'll look it up.
You got Debbie Stabenow. Debbie Stabenow, she was in Dearborn.
Okay.
So
But
we can find out who that is, and we'll go from there, because it's their office. You know, they're just the figurehead. They have at least 8 people on their team, from chief of staff to constituent concerns and a legislative aide. And so one of those people will help to expedite your passport, and we'll figure out who they are for sure.
Okay. So in your opinion, like, what is the time frame that we need to do the passport in? To get the passport and then go, not yesterday, and then go and then go to the office, and
So definitely this week we want to figure out who's who. But I would say the first week of June is dangerously close. So we don't want to go anything beyond the first week of June in terms of getting your expedited passport request made. And then I'm hoping that the second week of June, we can have the appointment scheduled for pickup. And so by the third week of June, we'll be able to have your passport, apply for your visa, and be awaiting your visa to give your visa at least 4 weeks to come back. It usually comes back within a week or 2, but we want to make sure that we give it at least 4 weeks, just in case.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Questions? More questions?
now, is this a straight flight? Are we going straight from Detroit or Michigan to Tanzania? Or do we have to
No,
meet somewhere
ma'am.
else?
We do
in
have a
another state?
layover in. No, ma'am. We do have a layover in Europe. The flight itinerary looks a little different every year. And so depending on the final number of people that participate, that will also determine which flight we take.
But we have to go to Dulles, like you said, right?
Yes,
Dulles
we fly
is
out
just
of
outside
Dulles.
of Washington or DC?
Yeah, Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say
And
we have a layover in
you'll
Dulles?
appreciate the layover. Sometimes with the layover, we get a chance to go into Amsterdam in the Netherlands and have lunch. And, you know, it's almost like 2 trips in one, because you get to see the African experience in the Netherlands and Europe. And then you get to also see the continent. And so, yeah, the layover is nice.
Mm-hmm. Granny, what were you going to say?
I forgot. Oh, no. I forgot.
Oh, no.
Layover in
I'm
Europe.
sorry. I made you
Oh, no,
forget.
that's all right.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we hear you.
So, Thai Tours. Who is Thai Tours?
So Thai Tours is our attempt to engage exchange. So the Teaching Artists Institute, we have 4 different ways that we accomplish our mission. The first is research. We look for research and how art can be used as a tool for social transformation. The second, RATE, the A is advocacy. So we advocate for cross-cultural communication and mutual understanding. The T, RATE, the T is training and curricular development. So we train artists to find ways to integrate some type of social transformation into their art form. We train universities on how to incorporate art center instruction across discipline. We work with corporate entities for employee wellness, work-life balance, and productivity. So this is under training and curricular development. And then the RATE, the E of rate, how we do our work and accomplish our mission, is engagement and exchange. And so Thai Tours is our for-profit arm for the Teaching Artists Institute. It's how we achieve our exchange and engagement. And it's the umbrella under which these activities happen. And so we use Tide Tours to immerse global learning, to immerse cultural immersion on an authentic level. We connect you to people around the world on an authentic level. And we use art as the methodology, art as the pedagogy. It's the how we connect. It's the how we teach. It's the how we engage. And for us, art is more than just singing. I sing. It's more than just dance or visual arts. Art is creation. It's innovation, ideas. Even as you think an idea, that is art for us. Because now you're an artist. If you think and then actually manifest what you've been thinking about, that is creation too. Inception of conception. So Tide Tours helps us to do that and support the work we do. It also has really unique entities like Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange, which is the program that Akilah will be participating in. And so cultural exchange is when you do it with intention. I have a skill or a service that I want to, with intention, exchange with the continent. And they, I know in advance, have something they're going to impart into my life as well. So I go in advance with the intention that I'm about to exchange. I'm giving something of myself and I'm looking forward to receiving. As well as students, we're looking for not just college students, but learners, because for us, learning is a lifelong process. And so when it comes to our study abroad, we're looking for those that are interested in learning about the world around them, because they understand that the more they see outside of the world they were raised in, the better they see themselves. Some people don't know because they can't imagine a world outside of their own value system. Some people don't grow, or they stop growing because they've never seen outside of Baltimore. They've never seen outside of Detroit. And so we believe in global learning, and Tide Tours helps us to facilitate that. I hope that answered your question. I know I went a little deep into our philosophies and how we do what we do, but I can also send you some printed literature that will make things a little more succinct.
No, that was good. In your answer, I hear you say we a lot. Who is we?
So we, who is the team? Well, the Teaching Artists Institute, we work in 7 countries, 5 of which are on the continent. So in East Africa, we work in Uganda and Tanzania. In West Africa, we work in Ghana, our first location, the Gambia, and Liberia. We've done a lot of work in the Caribbean, in Jamaica with the Maroons. You may be familiar with Nanny Town. We haven't done work there since COVID, but we're looking forward to returning to work with those sacred communities that fought back against colonial powers in Jamaica and used their art forms today to promote and preserve that history. And then, of course, here in the United States, we're working. You met during the One Africa conference, you met some of our Thai elders from Cleveland. We work in Cleveland in the United States. You met, of course, some of our elders from Washington, D.C. And so in the US, we're also working, and we have several outposts. Each of the locations on the continent, I'll say that they're a demonstration of our best work. And this year we made a commitment to begin doing more projects here on US soil. And so we have initiatives like the Freedom Rides bus tour, where we're gonna take a bus from Washington, D.C. Through Virginia, Greensboro, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Kansas. And then we're going to fly back because we want to show this generation that the civil rights movement still matters. That even though we're looking at human rights, it was these civil rights leaders, my grandmother, your grandmother, that really laid a foundation, not just for the United States, but around the world. We influenced the South Africa apartheid movement because of our civil rights here in the US. They were watching us in Nigeria, in Fela Kuti. He learned from us when he came here to go to school, and he took that back to Nigeria, and he began to use his music as a tool to protest against Obasanjo and their military regime in the 70s because of what he did with us in the 60s. Then you look at even China in Tiananmen Square. They learned about protests from our movement in civil rights. You look at Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. He went to school in Philadelphia during our movement of civil rights, and he took that knowledge back with him to Ghana, and he liberated the first African country to be free from colonial rule. And so that is an important era of history, not just for us in our own story, in our own tribe on this soil, but also for many regions around the world. And so this year, we're doing those kind of projects. Here we have for younger people, the Underground Railroad excursion right here in my own neighborhood, here in the DMV, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass. These people emancipated themselves from the enslavement of this country. They took their liberation, and they did it right down the street from where I live. And so we use that as an opportunity to take history off the page. We take young people camping outside, and we show them the stars that they use to find their way north. We show them the waterways when they sang those songs, Wade in the Water. We say, yeah, y'all afraid to swim? Y'all can't swim? How do you think Harriet got away? You're going to have to learn how to swim today. Our young people have to be reconnected with nature. And so we do projects like that. And so those are some of the things that we're doing on the ground in the US this year. But of course, our strongest programs are on the continent. And so finding ways to connect that and build the capacity of what we're doing locally is our goal for this year. And so hopefully you can be a part of that too, not just what we're doing in Tanzania, but also what we're doing right here in the US.
I remember you was telling G about that, about the Underground Railroad thing. Yeah.
Did he take off his hood?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, Brother Greg, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. And thank you. And I had another question, but I can't take it, but it'll come back. We can keep going.
Okay. Well, please bring your questions. They help us grow. They help us think of things that we may not have even thought of yet. So please ask your questions. And I'm so excited that Akilah is going with us. And she's even bringing Miss Deborah. Like, you don't understand how this excites me. It means that what we're doing is working, because we didn't come into Detroit thinking that we would meet an Akilah and that Akilah would want to bring her grandmother to the Summer Learning Institute. I thought we were done for this year with our participants and that our roster was complete. And so, it just means that we just need to get the word out. So spread the word. Please help us spread the word.
Yeah, and it's funny. People. There's more. Yeah, and I have a friend who she's from Kenya. I mean, not from Kenya. Her parents are from Kenya. And so she probably would be interested in coming too. She's coming back she goes to Howard, and she's coming back maybe next week. I'm not sure, but soon. She's coming back soon. And so I'll even mention it to her. And then, like I was telling you, the friends that I have in Uganda as well.
Listen,
so
that is incredible.
Endless connections.
Because we have a study abroad student coming with us from Howard, from the theater program, that will be with you this year. Yes. Oh, wow. So even if we're just able to connect them so that they can connect on the ground in DC, that would still be powerful. So
I think I might reach out to her today and tell her about it. Cause
And then our conference, the Artisan Conference this year is taking place in Kenya. And so she might be willing to come home.
I'm saying, and that's home. So yeah.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have a Dennis Boatwright out of your region who we also met at the conference, and he's going to be one of our speakers at this year's conference. And so it's just connecting as it should. Everything is in alignment. We're vibration extremely high. We're the rhythm people. I'm excited about this. Question. Did I make you forget your questions? Questions.
No. I feel like my brother might want to come. Kari, low key. Because when we went to get the passport, he went to get his too, the paper for his. So I feel like when I go and get the to the Congress office, he's gonna be like, well, let me get mine too.
But he should.
Yeah,
he should, even if he doesn't use it now. Like your ticket to the world, get your passport. We advocate that people get their passports. We've had some people go through the whole process with us, go through their application, fill their deposit. We help them get their passport expedited, and then they change their mind. And they say, actually, I think I should stay. And you know what? We still celebrate it with them because they got their passport. Some people put it off. They delay. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. One day I'm going to see the world and I'm going to get my passport. And then they look up and they're in their 60s and their 70s and they still haven't gotten their passport. And now they're trying to decide if it's still worth it. Guess what? It's still worth it. Still get it. If you're in your 60s and your 70s, even your 80s. We went to Tanzania in 2020 and we brought a lady that was 83 years old with us. She came, she enjoyed herself. She sat down and she said, I didn't plan on this. I'm so glad that you were able to convince us to come. And she was 83 years old. I'll send you the article that we wrote about her in the local paper, but get your passport. Yes, tell him to get his passport. Tell your brother, tell everybody. Passports all around.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so if you guys don't have any more questions now, it's not speak now or forever hold your peace. You can ask questions later. We are going to ask that you all download WhatsApp. If you haven't downloaded WhatsApp into your phone, please do. And I'm going to create a small WhatsApp group chat with you guys so that the questions that you have beyond this moment, we can answer collectively inside the group chat. Thank you again, Detroit. I love Detroit. We have to find ways to do more work in your area because, again, we were so impressed with the energy. It felt like family. It felt like home. And
it did.
I need more of that. Yeah. So let us know how we can be of service. And I'll follow up with some concrete logistical things definitely before the day is out.
Okay. So Ms. Kim, this WhatsApp, is that a way to get in touch with you, or should I even think about getting in touch with you? Just go through the WhatsApp.
Yes, Miss Deborah, that is a way to get in touch with me, and we're going to make sure that we help you download it. Don't you worry, we won't leave you to your own devices. We're going to help you through it. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, guys, I'm going to run, and I'll be talking to you real soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.